Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus.
We turn to Dr. Anthony
Wider
Fauci.
resurgence of COVID-19 across many parts of
Begin
Asia.
with breaking news about the coronavirus.
On March 13, 2020, former President Donald Trump declared COVID-19 a national emergency, exactly 39 days after declaring the disease a public health emergency.
Release the full power of the federal government in this effort today. I am officially declaring a national emergency.
3 days later, on March 16th, California Governor Gavin Newsom released new guidelines for restaurants to follow in order to stay in operation. The initial effects of COVID-19 were subtle. Overnight, businesses and schools were challenged to switch gears into a pandemic-friendly system of operations. Many businesses turned into a to-go or curbside pickup style of operation. Schools of all levels were converted to online homeschooling. This change in society held a heavy weight on independent student workers. Work became scarce, making it difficult for young workers to pay for basic living expenses. Despite the loss of employment, there were some students who used the extra time to their advantage. Third-year communications major at Sierra College, Cheyenne Dickinson, is a waitress at Red Robin in Roseville, who herself was sent home from work during the initial shutdown. I spoke with Dickinson about how the loss of work affected her life as a student worker.
Well, it actually gave me a lot more time to focus on school, so I took a little bit more classes, and since everything was online, I was more flexible too. As far as living expenses, luckily I was able to save up money before, since I've been here for so long, so I didn't really suffer from that.
Nonetheless, there were a vast majority of students who struggled with the sudden change. Fourth-year graphic design major Chris Jenkins discussed that while the money was not a huge issue, the loss of an in-person learning experience was definitely a challenge.
Well, for school, I think it's definitely harder to focus with online learning. Like, if I'm in the classroom, I'm pretty locked in. But it's easier to be distracted, I think, from home. But as far as bills, I was on unemployment, so that pretty much covered all my expenses.
In the contrary to Dickinson and Jenkins, the shutdowns made it very difficult to balance life for waitress Stephanie Guzman, who is attempting to hold multiple jobs and go to school for nursing.
It's been stressful, but I feel that I made do with, I ended up getting another job, and that job was deemed essential when the first shutout happened, so I was able to work there. I do make more money here, so that was hard because I went to work more and I made less. And at the time, I wasn't in school because I didn't start school until summer in June, and so I worked through most of that. But it was definitely stressful. With respect to it affecting my ability to concentrate in school was hard because I'm trying to get into a nursing program. So trying to reach people like representatives and have meetings and get to know the school and things like that has been hard because nobody emails me back. It takes 2 or 3 days if they do. I can't have a Zoom meeting with them because they're busy. I can't just go into their office because we have the social distance and the shutout. So,
for those who were granted the ability to continue working through the pandemic, government officials dubbed them the title of essential workers. For many workers, this was unnerving news with reports of the perilous disease still running rampant throughout society. Both Dickinson and Jenkins were against the idea of waiting being considered essential.
I don't think it's essential. I think the cooks in the back are essential. I don't think waitresses are essential because, I don't know, technically we don't need to sit in a restaurant. It's kind of like a luxury.
I personally don't necessarily consider a restaurant an essential business. I would consider that more for grocery store workers or medical people. But I think that it's good for people to get out and be able to eat out.
In my conversation with Guzman, she made it clear that being titled essential is a temporary mirage of hope, when in fact the role can be taken away any day.
if I can be honest with you, it's a real slap in the face. What does that even mean? I feel that grocery workers are always kind of just deemed, blue collar, the lower on the totem pole, and they were deemed essential. And I was deemed essential at my other job, but we didn't get hazard pay. We still had to work without it. I work here now, and now I'm essential again, and then I wasn't. So essential, I honestly don't know. If I'm honest with you, I think that essential just means we're going to deem you this for now because it's what makes us money.
As the public slowly starts to reopen due to the vaccine push, it is still in question if there will be a resurgence of COVID. Will the world be ready? While talking to all three servers, I asked what their thoughts were on the possibility of it all happening again.
I'm prepared, but I'm going to be really upset if we have to shut down again. Just because I'm kind of over it.
I worked when I could once we opened back up outside, and then unemployment was enough for me to to get by on. Well, I get financial aid for school, so I'm good on that. But yeah, I mean, it was enough for me to pay my rent and food and stuff. It was, for me, I know other people have had issues with unemployment, but for me it was fine.
I think that if life has taught me anything, it's taught me to be prepared for everything. And I think that the first shutout really taught me that I need to be more careful with my money, and things like this could happen at any time. I did have some money saved, which is why I was okay for the 3 weeks that I didn't work, but I had to get back to work soon. I knew that if it kept going like this and we didn't open up soon, that it would be bad.
Signing out for Roundhouse News and Review, this is Alexander Huddleston.